Welcome back to the Skid Factory. The big Fairlane is back. It's going like a train and also stopping like a train. And we're going to address that with a hopper stopper's brake upgrade. They've got a new 4-spot caliper and we're going to fit it up. We've also got a little bit of a misfire at 26 psi, so we've got some 35 GTR coils and a Platinum Racing Products coil kit, courtesy of Golebys. I've got a set of IK22 Densos that we're going to gap down to Hoff spec, throw them in, and we've also got a shifter because column shifters suck when the car is on the plane and you can't change gears properly. Let's get into it. This is a solution to our braking issues. I got onto our friends at Hopper Stoppers down in Victoria, told them what was going on, and they said, we've got the perfect thing for you because they've got this new product. It's a sort of an upgraded version of what we put on the Kingswood, which is their sort of basic OEM spec brakes. This is the sports version, so we're going to rip it open and have a look. Instructions. A CNC billet 4-piston caliper, maybe 6. I don't know. I think it's 4. We'll look at that. So these are designed to bolt in place of the sort of the OEM caliper that they normally use, which is a PBR Ford Holden sort of generic 2-piston sliding. So we're going to whack these on and hopefully not crash at the end of the straight. When we originally built the Fairlane, we got a brake kit that is I think it's based on a Mustang setup, which is pretty similar in the front. Willwood. So that's the caliper that's on the car at the moment. It kind of looks flash, but that doesn't mean it works good. You can see there's obviously a pretty big size difference in them for a start. A lot of the problems that you have with brakes is to do with, you might have this big hydraulic pressure from these 4 pistons, but if this isn't stiff, all it will do is spread open. It'll actually flex open the caliper. So you've got a bolt together set up like this. They obviously put spaces in them to change the width for different rotors, but it's only got very, very small bolts holding it together, so you just don't have the strength. So you can have a very high hydraulic pressure clamping on it, but if this just spreads, then it's not going to work. So these are more so designed for drag cars that have obviously parachute assistance. They're probably not the best thing for a street car. Willwood do make like race car calipers that are a lot better than this, but this is your sort of basic street. I think they call them Dynalites or something like that. So caliper's a lot bigger, a lot stiffer. And then you got your pad surface area. I don't want to pull the pads out, but you can see there's a big difference in pad area. These pads also shred like crazy. I think that they're pretty high metal content. I think these are what's on Benny's Cresta when we did drag wreck those couple of times. The whole side of the car was covered in like a brown coating, and it was these pads shredding themselves from us driving it on the road and using the brakes in a normal fashion, with a lot of weight in the back, of course, and in the car. So we went through a set of these in 4 days, and I don't know if I replaced the rotors or not, but they were chopped out too. So it's like they are a good option for a race car, but not great for the street, which as we found out. So this is our solution. Let's bolt her up. performance shims. The wheelwood setup is a 310mm rotor. These are 296, so larger. So if you a larger rotor gives you more of a leverage factor when the caliper grips on it, so that can give you better braking power, but only if the caliper works properly. So yes, it's better to have bigger brakes, but these are also sized like this so they fit under small wheels, like 15-inch, 16-inch wheels, whereas these require a lot larger rim. So they're sticking to a smaller size rotor because that allows it to fit in a sort of a muscle car era vehicle with normal smaller size rims on it. So you don't need the giant 18s or whatever to clear the wheelwoods. So yes, bigger does give you better leverage as far as braking power goes, but it only works if the caliper doesn't spread open when you apply the fluid pressure to it, which is all in caliper design. We're not trying to rip on wheelwood too bad here. Like this setup is actually pretty nice, and it's also a modular arrangement, so they can use the same sort of design in a lot of different applications, and it's like a billet alloy hat and everything. So parts of it are really good, but it just sort of is let down in things like the thickness of it. They buckle, they crack. Yeah, if the braking size is inadequate, you're going to have problems with all that stuff because it's just not good enough, and you've got to use long application of the brakes to slow down the vehicle, which cooks everything, cooks the pads, spreads them all over the side of Benny's car, wrecks the rotors, both wears them out and also cracks them because they're not the sturdiest thing in the world, these ones. So again, it's more for a light application where you're using it as a sort of cruising around the street, and if you're at the track and you're running 140 mile an hour, you're using, in Australia you've got to have a chute at 140, in America I think it's 150. So with a thing that's trapping that fast, you should be using a parachute to slow yourself down, because that's not what these are designed for, really. It's very light. I just realised that we need the original bolt set up. This is an adapter that bolts through the stub, and obviously it uses the original bolt from the caliper, the Ford caliper, which we don't have anymore because that wheelwood setups use a different system. But then I just looked in my Imperial bolt bucket, and I've still got the bolts from like 3 years ago, so that's a win. Brakes all done. Time for coils.
How old are those coils?
Oh, it must be about 97, I think.
So they've been on
this for a few years.
Is there one covered in tape?
A few bandages. Because the back cylinder's really hard to get in. It skins it a bit. They've done well.
So these are 1UZ VVTi coils.
Yeah, so this engine originally has 2 distributors and coil leads, but we converted it to coil over plug.
And they're just chilling in there too, they're not secured.
They just push in there, yeah. which is not a problem. They're just old.
And it's also been retuned. I don't think you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's been retuned. I can't remember what we did. Did we fix something, or there was some
We
little...
replaced Go Fast Bits springs because we only had the Hoff dodgy springs in there. So they got changed, and then he went back down.
Yeah, there was something, and
we also fixed the throttle body.
Some minor fix that we
popping up
sorted out, and then he took it back down, and they gave it another couple of pound and made 670 horsepower at the wheels or at the hubs. Plenty. Yeah, it was. It was after the last time we fixed those springs up and stuff and added some more capability on it.
So why are we replacing them?
So, because it's just starting to misfire under full boost, like maximum load, and these are ancient. Everything else isn't. So we're gonna obviously look at them first. So
that's where Herman comes into play.
Yep. He's got another one of his kits that he makes for very many vehicles. I think some of them use those stalks, but obviously these are, they've even got the custom-made stalks and everything on them, which is pretty flash.
So Herman makes these stalks himself. They're injection moulded, and they've also got springs and everything fitted inside and ready to go. So it's a straight swap over.
It's pretty cool. So in this application, you've got to replace this stalk, which is just a rubber sort of plasticky line thing that you can just pull off carefully. There's a spring inside there, but you don't need that anymore. It's got their own springs inside them. One thing you've got to be real careful of is this. It's like a little resistor pill that these coils have in the top there. That must stay there. So be careful when you're assembling them. Done. These are the old plugs, the NGK BKR 8E that have been gapped down to not much at all. They don't seem to have any issues visually, but we're replacing them with Denso IK22, so iridiums, some more of a race type plug. The Hoff rates these, that's what he uses in his stuff, so I got some of them through Raceworks actually. So I've gapped them down to the Hoff specification of 0.5 mil, 20 thou.
Small.
Pretty small. So we'll feed those in, then these adaptation plates are going to go on, then the coils can go in, and then we've got to rewire we had to pull the inlet manifold off to get these out, because that's what happens when you build cars over many years and things change. That's the original injector and ignition loom that we had, and the plugs happen to be under the inlet manifold now. It didn't have that inlet manifold on it, of course, when we built it in the first place, so it's a bit, you just can't get at them, so we had to take it off, which is not too bad. It'd be better if we didn't have to do it, but you get that.
Self-promo, Alan.
It's mechanic life, isn't it?
If you want yourself a Holly LS top for your 1UZ, you can buy them from
the store.
What's the website?
It's http://www.theskidfactory.com, or also you could just call it theskidfactory.com. I believe that you don't need the www anymore. I've been a mechanic for a very long time and I've never had one of these things, so I was skeptical, but it's actually pretty good. Shout out to Jamie for shouting us one. Bracket goes in. Brackets are in, so now it's coils in time. Hopefully this back one will go in all right because it was a big problem on the last setup. I sort of test fitted, it looked like it was going to be okay, so that's a definite advantage. Then we'll just have to fix that wiring up, make a bit of a hybrid loom, and we're good to go. And then put the inlet manifold back on.
It's tight.
It's tight, all right. Does that count it as clearance?
The miss is as good as a mile, mate. I can see a gap there.
Got the setup fitted, it's all good. We had to trim a bit of car stuff just related to 1970 Fairlanes that aren't supposed to have 1UZs in them. Everything else is fine. The supplied wiring kits that you get, they have just 2 banks of 4-cylinder setups with, it's all terminated and everything. Again, that saves you heaps of time, and then you just sort of connect that to your wiring harness, whatever you're doing. I just sort of blended it back into a similar setup that we'd already had on the car. So some of it I just pinned it out and pinned it back in because it used the same Deutsch connectors. On the other side I just had to put a different type of Deutsch terminal on it and a couple of grounds, and it's all good to go. This setup's obviously not for a stock or anywhere near stock engine. It's for pretty sort of heavily boosted. I mean, you could put it on a stock engine, but it absolutely doesn't need it. It's made for engines, you know, with boost. That because unless you're the Hoff, you can't get a stock set of distributors to work. But
Let's not talk about the Hoff.
The Hoff is a genius, but he didn't disclose the fact that he used an M&W CDI on his coils, so that's not exactly a stock ignition system. It's stock coils with a friggin' hugely powerful spark generator connected to them. So anyway, that's a digression if I've ever heard one. That's the word of the day.
Oh, there you go.
We just got to throw the manifold back on and fire it up, and then do some other stuff.
Shifter, nice.
A shifter, yeah. Actually, you should do the shifter.
I don't want to do the shifter.
Yeah, but...
Well, if I do the shifter, it doesn't get filmed, so is that alright?
Okay. Didn't we just film it on that other bloody car that was a pain in the arse?
Well, yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
Are you calling this one a pain in the arse?
Millsley. New sticker.
Millsley. Manifold back on, everything's good to go. Now's the test hit. What am I doing here? This old car thing.
Sounds like it's running rough.
How good? If that's not motivation to get a set of Coil Kits for your 1UZ, I don't know what is.
Oi! What?
Probably a good idea to not get it hot. So, am I doing this then?
Yeah. You got the gun at it. You used to have one of them.
Yeah. Nah, mum was the Buick one, bro.
You got to make car noises, dude.
Do a Martin.
How's that feel?
That's way better than that.
That's not surprising.
Maybe Mark won't bump it into neutral when he's going down the track.
Brakes, shifter, coils, all in. I think we're ready to go. Thanks to Hot Pants Herman from Platinum Racing Products, the hottest pants on the internet for the Coil Kit. It's a new product out. They got tons of other Coil Kits for all the other engines that are important.
Forever making more and more.
All that stuff. Supplied through Golebys Parts, of course. Thanks to Duncan from Hopper Stoppers for the mint brake kit. Again, a big range of products from those guys, all Australian made, based in Victoria. So support local.
Check the description. I'll put a link down there.
It's down there.
Yeah.
And thanks to Holly Corporation for taking over the performance parts scene.
What are you thanking those guys for?
It's being sarcastic. Nah, the shifter works.
Who else makes shifters though?
Lots of places.
Coils.
Maybe Hot Pants Herman should make shifters.
Yeah.
He'd be good at it. I'll suggest it. That's all we got. The car is ready to go and have some fun. Or more fun. I think we might head out to some roll racing or some drag racing or some happy laps or maybe even a drag challenge or something like that. That would be cool. Plenty of room in the car. We can pitch the tent actually inside the car and not have to take it down. So that'll be up to Mark, of course, because it is his car. But that's all we got. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
One use Z shirts.
Oh, and buy a 1UZ shirt.